What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. It's Rockin' Jonathan here for another album review, and it's finally time to talk about the new album from Red. It's entitled Gone. This is the band's sixth studio album and is released October 27th, 2017, and this by far was my most anticipated album of the year. I know Breaking Benjamins was up there for me too, but sadly Ember's not going to be released in 2017, unfortunately. It's going to be a 2018 album pretty much, unless they just throw it out of the, randomly out of nowhere, but I don't think Hollywood Records is going to let that happen, to be honest. We might get a couple singles here and there, but I don't think we're going to get the album this year. But at least we get to talk about Gone here today, because I was really hoping that this album would be released in 2017, and thankfully it was released in October. And so it's finally here to talk about this new album from Red, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. Is it album of the year? We will find out. I wanted to kind of go over a little bit of the sound briefly, just because, I wanted to say that in my opinion, I think this is Red's probably their most diverse album to date, and their most experimental, more than Release the Panic. But I think they took what worked on Release the Panic and Of Beauty Enraged and went forward, combined it together with Starset influences, and Muse influences, some pop, some metal in there, rock, electronic, EDM, and they put it all into one. And that's what we get with classic Red here, It's not like all like End of Silence or Innocence and Instinct or anything like that. It's more of a hybrid of everything that Red has done, and I think that's what makes this album really great. Now, a lot of people that have listened to it, they were saying they're kind of disappointed in it. They were saying they kind of got off guard, But you really have to give this album a bunch of listens. You're not going to catch anything from this album. You're just, it's going to go one ear out the other if you only listen to it once, because you're not going to catch much from this album. You have to listen to it a bunch of times. And I have to say, after listening to this album like 15 times now, or maybe even 20 at this point, I'm really starting to love this album. It's not my favorite Red album, I'm going to say that right now. It's not my favorite Red album, but seriously, this is a great album. And let's get into the tracks, and let's talk about this album. First track off the album is Step Inside the Violence, and of course it's the opening track, and you'd think from opening tracks, this is where you get a groundwork of what the album is going to be about, and whatever the opening track is going to be, it's supposed to, clue you in. It's going to glue you in, it's going to make you want to listen to the rest of the album, and Red usually always has great opening songs. And is this one just as good? I think so. It's probably not my favorite on the album, but still, this is a great opening track. It starts out with a little bit of a guitar lick in the beginning, kind of. I don't know if I call it a guitar lick, but some kind of little mid-eastern guitar beginning. And then it just goes into these blistering heavy guitar riffs. I love how this song opens up. First time listening to this, I didn't like the verses that much. It had to click with me after a bunch of listens, and when it clicked, it absolutely did. I love how Michael Barnes' vocals are a little bit subdued, and I guess they put some type of effect on his vocals in the the verses, and they sound like I don't think it's auto-tune. I think it's something else, like some a little bit robotic voice. Not too much. You can still hear him in the song, but I think they did a really good job with that. It's a very heavy song. I love how he sang "Step Inside," and the violence in the chorus is just explosive. This is Michael Barnes' favorite song on the album. I can see why. He unleashes a lot in this one, and it's pretty short actually. It's like a little bit over 3 minutes. I think they kind of did the same thing with this song, like "Release the Panic." "Release the Panic" was only like 3 minutes long or something like that, unless you listen to the the whatever that one, the recalibrated version of it. It's like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but I like how they started this album with a bang. I'm glad they just kept with a rock song at the beginning, unlike most bands these days started with a pop song. But this one's a really great opener. The only problem I kind of have with this song and a little bit of the album is the songwriting. Usually I always like great songs with the music sounds great, the lyrics don't matter as much, but when I like both, most of the time. That's just my preference. And this song, I love the music, of course. The music's great, but lyrics could have been a little bit stronger, but, it is what it is. I think they still work well with this song, and it's a great one. We got Still Alive, and of course, this was one of the first singles that was released off the album when Red, announced the album was going to be released on October 27th of this year. And this song, first listen, I really liked it a lot. I guess there was the lyrics, were kind of bugging me a little bit back then. But really, this song has really grown on me. I love the energy in this one. This is more obviously a radio rock song, but it's a little bit heavier than, your standard radio song, which I love about it. Red didn't go. I love the drum work in this one. Joe Rickard, of course, if you didn't know, he drummed on this album, and he sounds even phenomenal more on this album, too. Love his drum work. He's always been one of my favorite drummers because he's in Flames now, of course, melodic death metal band, but he's always been great, and he does even greater on this album as well. So yeah, Joe Rickard's great on this song. The lyrics could have used a little bit more on the chorus. Writing could have been a little bit better, but it's more of a pump up song. And it's talking about, am I still alive? The concept of the album is more like, what is my legacy when I'm gone? That's kind of like what the title track is about. This song kind of shadows that a little bit. I love Michael Barnes' vocals in this song too. It's very energetic. I love the guitar work in this song, electronics. I think there's some like piano hits in the bridge. I'm not sure, but they go into these, the heavy breakdown that I always love from Red. And Michael singing nothing, and then the drums go, and it's just awesome. I love that part. This song, like I said, has really grown on me. I really love this song. It's definitely a great one. It's probably not one of my favorites off the album, just because we'll get to it. The other tracks I'm going to talk about how great they are, but this song is a very good one to start. The beginning of the album. I love how they put this one in the beginning, just to get things up. After Step in the Violence, you got this song. It's just awesome. So yeah, Still Alive is Losing Control, and this was another song that was released with Still Alive. I listened to this song second, and when I first listened to this one, I was blown away. And I still am. I think I love this song even more now. In the context of this album, this is definitely one of Red's best songs, and definitely one of the best songs of this album. It's classic Red everything. It reminded me of End of Silence, Release the Panic, of Beauty and Rage, somewhat of Innocence and Instinct, a little bit of Until We Have Faces. It's like they put everything that they've done in the past and they included it in this song. Strings, some pianos, heavy guitars, the 8-string guitars on this song is just awesome. They use horns in this one as well. I love how they use, there's horns a little bit here and there in this album, which I love how they made that. Rob Graves is awesome when he mixes these albums. I love how they put them together. This song is just stellar, man. I cannot give this one enough praise. Except for, the lyrics, like I said, are kind of a little bit weaker. But this song, I don't think it needs strong lyrics, to be honest. Because this song is just awesome the way it is. I love how Michael sings this one. It sounds so passionate, And when I build it all up, I love when he says, and he just screams, and then it gets to that bridge. Oh man, it's so epic, man. I love and then Dustin Bates, if you didn't know, he co-wrote this song. This is one of the songs he co-wrote with them, and I can definitely see the appeal, The Star Set electronics part in the beginning, it's just so awesome. This is an awesome song. Can't give this one enough praise, and I'm not fanboying over this one, because this is one of my favorite Red songs, definitely, and a lot of people love this one, so definitely check out Losing Control if you haven't. I don't know how you haven't, but if you don't listen to the whole song, listen to the ending part. You'll be blown away by the ending part. Michael Barnes screaming so loud, man. I love how he does it in that part, man. It's just awesome. And the guitars and the drums are going nuts, and it just ends abruptly. So yeah, Losing Control is obviously phenomenal. The next song we have is the title track, Gone. This was one of the songs, obviously, the next song that was released off this album. This got people a little bit, worried about the album, thinking, oh no, Red's going electronic and stuff. But honestly, like I said in my track review of this song when I first listened to it, I don't know why, it connected with me so much. I just love this one. I love it even more now. It's probably not one of the best songs that they've done. I'd probably put it in like an honorable mention or something there. But this is definitely one of the best songs in the album, in my opinion, just because of how emotional this song gets to me, I know it's not going to be everyone's favorite, obviously. Not a lot of people are going to be loving this song. I just love how it goes, I love Michael Barnes' vocals. I like how they did a little bit differently with this one, putting some EDM and synthesizers in there. It does kind of get a little bit grating after that part where it goes into that drop, and Michael Barnes is like that weird pitch vocal thing. I never liked pitched vocals, but it's okay here. They only do it once in like each ending of the chorus, or that bass drop thing, whatever EDM drop that they use. I just pretty much love this one for the message. This pretty much encapsulates the message of the whole album. Like, when I'm gone is the air I breathe, my only legacy. I love these lines, man. This song is brilliant in its lyrics. I just love this one. Even though there's not many there, the ones that are there are just brilliant in my opinion. And this is a very good song. It's very much lighter. It's more radio friendly, like I said. It's not going to be for everyone, but you know, I've always liked it when I first heard it. And it's definitely a very diverse song that Red has ever done. Maybe their most diverse, to be honest. Next one up is Coming Apart. I think this is the first ballad that we get on this album, and I think it's the only ballad on the standard edition. But, you know, we're going to get to the deluxe edition in a little bit. But listening to this song when I first heard it, I liked it, but I wasn't really crazy about it. I knew I had to listen to it more just so it can grow on me. And boy, this song has grown on me, probably one of the most on this album. This song is just beautiful. I'm not sure. In my opinion, it might be one of Red's best ballads. I don't think it's their best, but I think it's definitely up there in terms of emotion. And I love how this song talks about, you know, he's coming apart. It's kind of like the basic message that Red's been singing in their ballads over the past 10 years. You know, they just made it more fresh in this one. I love it's very, you know, acoustic strings. I think some synthesizers, it's like a very nice atmosphere that they made in this song. I love Michael's vocals. They're almost angelic in this one. Like I said, it's like a little over, I think it's almost 4 minutes long, so it's a very good timing for this. I love the lyrics in this one. This is where I think Red, this part of the album is where it gets better and better, the lyrics and the sound. And I think Red's going into their more, you know, normal, comfortable state. And they added, I think, a little bit of electronics in this one too. And yeah, this one's another great one. It's very emotional. Definitely, if you're an emotional person, you're gonna love this one. If you're a sucker for Red ballads, this is another one up your alleyway. Another one under their belt. It's another great one. And I love the chorus in this one. You know, it's singing, coming apart, I'm coming up. I love how Michael sings that one. In terms of drums, there's not much going on except for like a little taps, I think. I'd probably have to listen to it a bunch of times to, you know, get it in to listen to the drumming parts. But to be honest, I don't think this song really needs drums. Kind of like Pieces, but, you know, Pieces has the drums at the end. And then Hymn for the Missing didn't have any drums. So, you know, they know how to do it, you know. This song just does it well. And it's another phenomenal track off this album. Alright, the next song on this album is Unstoppable, which most of you know is the Sia cover from her latest album. This is Acting, and a little brief history of my liking of Sia's music. I'm not really a big fan, obviously. I've listened to a couple of her songs. I like how she sings. I just never really got into her that much just because I don't really feel like getting into her. I like a couple of her songs, and this is one of them I actually liked. I know a lot of people hate it, but I don't know why. I just love the way she sings it. And so I wasn't really bothered by Red doing this song. I mean, a lot of people were caught off guard because it's a pop song. You know, oh no, Red's doing a pop song. And, you know, a lot of people speculate that the industry made Red do this. I'm not sure, to be honest, but I know a lot of people don't like this song. And, I mean, they don't probably like this Red cover either. But, I mean, to be honest, I actually pretty much like this song. I don't love it. There's a couple of parts in the bridge and the ending I don't really care for. I wish they would have, you know, discluded that. But, you know, I like what Red did here. You know, Michael Barnes can sing in any genre, to be honest. Kind of like what Chester Bennington can do. But Michael Barnes did a pretty good job on this. I think that's what drew me in the most to this song. Because, you know, I wasn't expecting much. I was hoping that they were going to, you know, kick it up, make this cover very rockish, but when the clip came out, everyone was worried because it sounded so poppy, you know. But I was thinking, you know, don't really judge a song by its clip, you know. You have to listen to the full song. And thankfully, listening to the full song, I actually pretty much like this one. I don't really like it. I don't love it. It's just, I like what Michael Barnes did with the vocals. I like, you know, you can hear the guitar work and the chorus a little bit. You can feel the power, you know, that's unstoppable. I wish they would have turned it up a little bit louder, you know, that and the bridge. They should have never included that bridge, man. That's the only part I really do not like about this song is that EDM and weird electronic bridge. It just doesn't fit with them, you know. It doesn't fit the song at all. But at least it didn't last that long and they go back to that chorus. But I do like the chorus of the song. That's the thing that drew me in the most. And I like the drum work in this one too. I mean, obviously it's a pop song, but I think Red really did well with this one. Song we have Fracture, and this is the second part of the half of the album, which I said is actually better just because, I mean, not the first half is very good, but I think this is where Red really shines the most, is the second half. And Fracture is a great example. This is the Twins' favorite song, and I can definitely see why. It's a very heavy, menacing tune. I love the sounding of this one. It's just the one you can rock out to and run around to. I love Michael Barnes' vocals on this one. And like the other ones in the beginning of this album, I don't like the lyrics that much, but I mean, they don't really, the ones that are there are okay, but that doesn't really take my enjoyment away from the song. I just kind of wish the lyrics were a little bit stronger, but the song is still badass though, overall. I love this one, Fracture. I think it's talking more about, like, you know, relationship, I guess, being fractured, and love the guitar work in this one. Like I said, Michael Barnes did a great job on this one. I think there's some electronics in here as well. I think the electronics do add a lot to this one. And yeah, Fracture's another great one on the album. 8 is Chasing Your Echo. And man, when I first heard this song, I was like, yep, this is going to be one of my favorite Red songs. And it still is. I mean, I haven't made like a top 10 or top 20, but this one will definitely be on the top 20 at least, because this one is just excellent. This is classic Red at their best, to be honest. I love the diversity in this song. I love that beginning where it's like stuttered. It just caught me off guard, you know. It caught a lot of people off guard, like dun dun, you know, shaking, and you know, it's just awesome. I love how they did that, you know. Very cool technique with the tempo is very slow, and then it goes back up again. Love the lyrics in this one. This was Rob Graves, the producer's favorite song, and I can definitely see why. This is a very amazing song. The guitar work is very heavy. Michael Barnes is great as ever. The chorus is probably one of their best choruses, to be honest. It's probably not as great as, like, you know, the choruses from End of Silence or Beauty and Rage or anything like that, but still, this overall, the song is probably one of their best, in my opinion, and it's got everything you want: the electronics, the strings, some piano work, and I love the lyrics in this one too. This is where, like I said, the better written songs are on the second half of this album, and the heavier ones, of course, are here too. And I can't give enough praise to Chasing Your Echo. If you don't check out the whole album, please check out this song. It's worth your time, and it's because it's phenomenal. All right, the next up, we got AI. And this is another one where I wasn't really familiar with. I listened to it, you know. I thought it was good, but this is one of the ones that really had to grow on me. And after a couple listens, it absolutely clicked. This is definitely another one of the best Red songs I've ever heard. I mean, just by the name of it, I know Zach D, in his review, he said AI kind of sounds like it would be an electronic song, but it really isn't. There's like a little bit of electronics in there too, but this is very much classic Red. I know a lot of people love this one. You know, this is probably one of the best songs on the album for sure, one of their best Red songs. I love the atmosphere this song gives off. Michael Barnes' vocals are at his absolute best on this album. I think this is his best vocal work, this one and the next song. And, you know, this one's a little bit over 4 minutes, I believe, or close to, I don't know, around that, you know, runtime. But I love the chorus in this one too. You know, it's just awesome. Love what Red did with this one. I thought it was going to be more electronic, I guess, but they just flipped the lid on that one. They just made one of their best songs. I love the atmosphere. The last part of this song is where it really reminds me of a Beauty and Rage. It reminds me of Shadow and Soul a little bit, which is obviously one of my favorite Red songs of all time, and one of my favorite songs of all time. I can't wait to talk to you guys about that one when I do my Beauty and Rage review. But talking about this song, they had this, like, you know, creepy little piano line and the strings. It's just awesome. I love how they did that. It just reminds me of the ending of Shadow and Soul, but there's no vocals at the end. I love how they did that, and it just ended the song, and it blew me away. It's a very great song to keep listening to on repeat. Like I said, if you don't listen to the whole album, listen to this one. You're going to love it if you're a Red fan, rock fan, anything. This song is just epic. We made it to the final track off the standard edition of this album, and it's called Singularity. And like the other ones, this was one of the ones that really had to grow on me. It didn't click with me at first listen, but after I listened to this one, like maybe the second or third time, it just, wow, this one blows my mind. This is another one of, I think, Red's best songs. It's a little over 5 minutes, which is awesome. I love when Red does these long songs. This is when they're at their absolute best, it's at their prime. You know, and this one is very Starset and Muse influences, mainly Muse, because of the diversity. You know, he sounds like Bellamy on this one, the lead singer of Muse, of course, and then I love when they go into that bridge part when it sounds like Everglow from Starset, you know, when the ending part of Everglow when they go into that rampaging ending. And it reminds me so much of that for some reason. Definitely the influence there. I love Michael Barnes' vocals on this one. This one's very different sounding for him, but I think they pretty much accomplished what they were doing on this one. It's just phenomenal. I knew they would do it. I knew they were going to have a great ending song to the standard edition, and they just blew me away again. I didn't think they could do it again, you know, because the ending for Beauty and Rage was phenomenal. The part that's holding on, ending then Ascent, that was great, you know. And then just love how Red did this one. Very Muse-esque vibes. If you guys don't know Muse, definitely check them out. I know a lot of people love Muse, and I haven't checked out a lot of their stuff, but I should definitely check them out if I love the song, of course. Definitely Singularity is probably one of the best closers of the year, in my opinion. Definitely an epic classic Red track. This is definitely what Red does. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit of the deluxe songs on the album, which I think a couple of them really should have been on the album, but I'm going to talk about The Mask Slips Away. Now this is another one of those ballad type songs. I love this one. Another, I have to say, it's kind of like Coming Apart, but a lot differently. It's almost 5 minutes long, and I love when Red does these ballads like this. It's just beautiful, you know. I really think this should have been the one to end the album too. You know, it would have been great, you know, Singularity or this one. But this is another one, obviously, on the deluxe edition, and this is a great track. I love another great ballad under Red's belt. Love the imagery used in this one and the lyrics. And at first, when a lot of people were speculating the title of the song, The Mask Slips Away, they were thinking maybe it's from, you know, the mask from of Beauty and Rage in the Darkest Part music video. They're maybe thinking, oh, they're probably, you know, continuing the saga of all their great videos, you know, they make. They're all connected a lot. They're definitely going to connect this one to it, I bet. And I can't wait to see those videos, to be honest. But like I said, this is a great ballad. Definitely check this one out. Another one I wanted to talk about was Stay Alive. I think it was For a Reason. Here, let me see. Yeah, I think it was more like an acoustic song, I think. Yeah, Looking for a Reason. That's right. This is obviously Still Alive, but a different version. It's more like, I guess, a Kalo version. I know Monica LW said something like that. I guess I can agree with that. But this version's very nice. I like how they did this one, I guess. I'm not going to listen to this one a lot, but I think this is a very good version to include, because Still Alive is a very, you know, radio rock heavier song, and this, they took it down a bit, and I love the vocal melodies in this one. That's the thing I like the most. Final two songs I wanted to talk about on the Deluxe Edition were Unstoppable, Redux version, and then Coming Apart, the Deconstructed. I mean, I don't want to really talk about the other remixes just because I don't have much to say about them. I will say that they are good. Some of them are kind of, you know, they're just remixes, so I didn't really want to talk about them. But first I want to talk about the Unstoppable Redux version. Now, of course, this was the cover, like I said, from the original. But this one is so much better. I wish they would have added this one instead of the standard version, because this one's way more laid back, more acoustic, more ballad-like. I love Michael Barnes' vocals on this one. That's the absolute best part about this song. And I love when Red does this, because they put Michael Barnes on the spot and they put him on the vocals on this songs. It sounds more like a Red ballad, to be honest. I know the lyrics, you know, are just more pump up, I guess, and they're kind of cliche a little bit, but I think they did a good job with this one. It sounds more passionate, you know. Michael Barnes sounds a little bit more, you know, like he's really meaning it. I love how they did it with this one. So the Redux version, I love how they did it with it, you know. And next one I want to talk about, last one, Coming Apart, the Deconstructed. Of course, remember the Coming Apart, the standard was on the 5th track off the album. And I love that one, but I think this one should have been on the album. I think the other one should have been like the deluxe version, but I guess I could see why they did it, just because they can appeal to more people, I guess. But this one is just, man, this has definitely got to be one of Red's best ballads. Like I said about the original, but this version of Coming Apart is just phenomenal. I cannot say enough praises about this one. It's beautiful. Michael Barnes' vocals sound even more angelic on this one. Just him, more vulnerable on the piano. and the strings, just love the melodies in this one. He sounds way more passionate in this one. I think it's one of his best vocal performances on a ballad in his, in his career, to be honest, in my opinion. But yeah, this is just, I wish that would have ended the album instead of the Gone Grave version. That one's pretty good, but I think the other song, Coming Apart, Deconstructed, should have ended the album on a somber note. It would have been better, but it is what it is. But like I said, it's a phenomenal ballad. You should definitely check it out if you love Red's ballads. This is going to be definitely hands down one of your favorite ballads, I guarantee you. Overall, guys, this is a great album from Red. I love what they did with this one. Like I said, I think it's like a mix of End of Silence and everything from that point up to A Beauty and Rage. And I think they really included everything that you want from Red and added a lot of different things. There's a lot heavier stuff you're used to hearing from Red, and then there's a lot poppier stuff. But they didn't add too much of the either of the ones, and they kept it balanced. A lot of electronics, and Starset influences, Muse influences a lot in some of these songs, and Dustin Bates co-writing some of these songs as well. Very phenomenal album overall. In terms of music this year, it's definitely up in there in my top 5 for sure. Probably my number 4 right now, just because I think 3 albums are very much more stellar. But this album just came out a couple days ago, so it could grow on me even more to the point I put it at number 1. But as of now, I'm putting it at number 4. As of their best album, Red's best album, I don't think I would say it's their best, just because, can't beat A Beauty and Rage and Innocence and Instinct, in my opinion. But you'd probably have to see my ranked review of Red's discography in the near future, when I really, take a listen to all their albums all together and really give it what I think is their best and they're my least favorite. But guys, it's a great album to start out with. If you're new to Red, definitely check this out. If you're a Red fan already, what are you doing? You should have bought the album already. Listen to it, love it, listen a lot of times, because it's not going to hit you on the first time. I repeat, you have to keep listening to this album a bunch of times to actually get what the band was going for. And I think they succeeded in a lot of ways. My only really complaints about this album, like I said, is the less electronics I wish they had and stronger songwriting. But either way, I don't think that's a bad thing, to be honest. And like I said, this is a great album. Like the video, subscribe, comment below what you guys think of the album. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Thanks for watching this review, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Guys, I forgot to give this album a rating. How could I forget? But I'm going to have to give this one a moderate 4.5 out of 5.